Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We're broadcasting live today from beautiful Manhattan at the Hard Asset Show. Our guest today is Ian Ball. Ian is the Senior Vice President of U.S. Gold. U.S. Gold trades in Toronto under the symbol UXG, also trades in New York and UXG. Ian, welcome back to TFNN.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having us.
It's great to see you, man.
Thank you.
You know, we go back a long way. I remember the first time that we met. Basically, the first time we met, I believe gold was about 320, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we're at 540, 1540, 1500. Tell us about the progress in U.S. Gold. First, tell us what U.S. Gold, where they're doing business, and what type of progress we're in.
Well, U.S. Gold, we're focused in two areas. Our major discoveries in Mexico, it's called El Gallo. It's silver and gold, and we're moving that towards production. And we're forecasting that it will become one of the 10 largest primary silver mines in the world.
Amazing.
Second project we have is Gold Bar. It's in Nevada's Cortez Trend. It's situated between two of Barrick's operations, Cortez Hills to the north, which is doing 1.7 million ounces of gold a year, and their smaller mine, Ruby Hill, to the south. And we're looking to do 60,000 ounces of gold a year out of Gold Bar.
Wow. And the progress that we're in, if we start in Mexico, right?
Yep.
What is the ramp up there? Where are we at there?
Well, right now we have 15 drills on the property, so we're aggressively exploring. We're going to be looking to update the resource estimate, looking to publish a feasibility study by year end.
Yes.
And then we're going to be submitting our permits for mining at year end. And right now you're looking at about a 12-month turnaround time in Mexico to have your permits reviewed, commented upon, and then approved if you've done things correctly.
Sure, and a great place to do business, right?
It's been very good.
Let's go to Nevada. So in Nevada, are we drilling right now?
There's 3 drills in Nevada right now.
Okay.
And we're expecting to publish the results of our pre-feasibility study by the third quarter.
Yes.
We're not going to go to feasibility stage because the capex of the project is $40 million, so it's pretty small.
Yes.
And there's really not the need to go to the full feasibility study. The permitting in Nevada is longer. It's about 18 months.
Okay.
But you are looking to have production in late 2014, where in Mexico we're targeting early 2014.
Right. When we look at the texture of the business, you've been involved with a lot of different companies, you know, coming along. So give me your rundown of what you think's happening in the business now.
I think you're having a space become very crowded with a lot of names.
Yes.
If you walk down this conference today, half the companies I've never heard of before.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be certain companies that are going to deliver performance that's going to be well above their peers because they're actually going to be able to execute what their business plan is.
Right.
And that's going to because they actually have quality projects, they have access to capital, and they have a management team that's done it before.
Yes.
And I think that's really, what we're going to see is that it's going to be so crowded, it's going to be hard to get traction in the market because there's going to be so many people with a gold story.
Sure.
But that's why one thing we're focusing on at U.S. Gold is trying to actually meet all the objectives that we've set out to achieve. And I think that's one of the reasons why the company has been getting a fair bit of traction in the market.
Right. No, you can see it. There's no doubt about it. What gets interesting is that politically also is that whoever knew years ago when you're thinking that you know that in the mining business political is always it can be a problem, right?
It can be.
But who would ever think that it could be a problem in so many countries that we actually have now, right?
Well, whether you go to Canada, where they're imposing royalties on the oil and gas industry in Alberta.
Yes.
And then you have other countries looking to do the same, where it's hard to get permits today.
Right.
So companies really have to step up in terms of their corporate responsibility and doing things appropriately. It might take a little bit longer,
right?
But I think that's what's going to get your project ultimately advanced to production.
No doubt. And when we take a look at Mexico, it's amazing, right? The amount of silver that is in Mexico, right?
Yes.
And it seems like, I was talking to someone a little bit earlier, and I guess what has happened in Mexico is that over the years, the prices had got low, and so there was plenty of mines there, right? That people were not taking. There wasn't capital. People weren't using putting the capital into it, right?
Well, at $5 and $10 silver, these were not generating a lot of free cash flow.
Right.
So they weren't that exciting.
Yes.
At $20 silver, $40 silver, they're generating a fair bit more cash flow.
Right.
And I think that's what's putting it more on people's radar screens right now.
Yes.
The average cost to produce an ounce of silver is $10. So at $10 an ounce silver, we weren't making any money.
Right.
But I think that's why it's important if you can to develop a project, if you're fortunate enough, at a low cost.
Sure.
So you can kind of survive in all environments. But the silver has really come on. Silver's always been in Mexico, but now you're starting to see bigger mines being produced, being brought on stream.
Okay.
And that's because Mexico is attracting a lot more investment dollars now for exploration because they're open for business there.
Right.
And that's really, I think, the key consideration for why Mexico has really expanded. You have Alamos, Mine Finders, Capital Gold, Agnico Eagle all bringing on new mines. Goldcorp, big new mine in Zacatecas.
Right.
And these are big projects that were all within the last 5 years.
Yeah, and of course the government is going to get revenue off that, so everyone's going to be happy.
I hope so.
Well,
yeah,
that would make
$1,500 goal. Yeah, they're going to get corporate income tax.
Sure.
And
Jobs.
I think it picked a lot of jobs, a lot of wealth in the country.
Right, no doubt. Ian, thank you so much for the update. Really do appreciate it. Folks, the company is US Gold, trades in Toronto under the symbol UXG, trades in the US under the symbol UXG. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom.
Have a great one. Have a safe one.